Have you ever stepped off a hot, crowded street into the quiet of a forest and felt the air change around you? That sudden drop in temperature, that breath of cool, fresh air, feels like nature's way of saying, "Welcome home." But what really makes the forest cooler than the city? Why does the heat seem to melt away the moment you walk under the trees? Let's take a slow, peaceful walk through the science behind it. First, think of a city. Tall, concrete buildings, endless asphalt roads, cars releasing hot exhaust. Every surface you see, walls, rooftops, sidewalks, soak up heat from the sun all day long. Concrete and asphalt act like giant batteries for heat. They absorb it fast and release it slowly, keeping the temperature high even after sunset. That's why when you walk through the city at night, it still feels warm, sometimes even hotter than during the day. This phenomenon has a name: the urban heat island effect. Cities trap heat, but forests? Forests breathe. Now picture the forest. Layers of trees, plants, moss, and soil. A living system designed by nature to cool itself down. The secret lies in something called evapotranspiration. It's a fancy word for a simple process. Plants sweat. Just like humans release sweat to cool down, trees release water vapor from their leaves through tiny pores called stomata. As that water evaporates, it absorbs heat from the air, creating a natural cooling effect. One big tree can release hundreds of liters of water into the air every single day. Multiply that by thousands of trees in a forest, and you've got a giant green air conditioner working silently for free. But that's only part of the story. The forest doesn't just cool itself, it shields itself from heat. Tree canopies act like umbrellas. They block direct sunlight from hitting the ground, keeping the soil and undergrowth shaded and moist. In contrast, in the city, there's almost no shade. Every surface is exposed to the full force of sunlight, so the ground heats up quickly. In the forest, most sunlight never reaches the ground. It's absorbed by the leaves, branches, and canopy above. That's why when you walk on a forest path, the ground feels cool and damp, not burning hot like a city sidewalk. And here's another hidden factor: the forest floor itself. Unlike concrete, soil has pores, tiny spaces that hold water and air. When the sun hits the forest floor, the moisture inside the soil slowly evaporates, taking heat with it. That's why after rain, the forest smells earthy and fresh. That scent is moisture rising back into the air, refreshing everything around it. In the city, on the other hand, when it rains, the water runs off the pavement, drains away, and disappears. No moisture left to cool the air, just steaming roads and sticky heat. And there's also the matter of color. Dark surfaces like asphalt and rooftops absorb sunlight. They have a low albedo, meaning they reflect very little light. The forest, with its green leaves, has a higher albedo. It reflects more sunlight and absorbs less heat overall. In short, the forest dresses in light, breathable fabric, while the city insists on wearing a black leather jacket in summer. But the cooling power of the forest isn't just about temperature, it's also about how it feels. When you're surrounded by trees, your body reacts differently. Your heart rate slows down, your breathing becomes deeper, and your stress hormones drop. Scientists call it forest bathing, or shinren-yoku in Japanese. It's not just poetic, it's biological. The air in forests contain natural chemicals called phytocides, released by trees to protect themselves from bacteria and insects. When humans breathe them in, they actually help lower blood pressure and improve mood. So yes, the forest is cooler, not only because of physics, but because of what it does to our minds and bodies. Let's not forget the role of air circulation. In forests, the air flows more freely. Leaves move, wind passes through, and heat dissipates evenly. Cities, by contrast, have narrow streets and tall buildings that trap hot air like walls in an oven. Ever walked between skyscrapers and felt like the air wasn't moving at all? That's the city's design trapping you in a heat pocket. Meanwhile, in the forest, you can actually feel the air, the gentle wind brushing your skin, the rustling of leaves that carries cool air from the shade to your face. It's not just pleasant, it's physics in motion. And there's one more beautiful layer to all of this. The forest doesn't just cool itself, it cools the planet. Forests absorb carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas that traps heat in the atmosphere. Every tree acts like a little sponge, pulling CO2 out of the air and storing it safely in wood and roots. So when you walk into a forest and feel the air cooler, you're literally feeling the planet breathe easier. Meanwhile, cities keep growing, cutting down trees to make room for concrete jungles. Every time we replace green with gray, we remove one more natural cooling system from the Earth's surface. That's why cities keep getting hotter, and summers feel longer than ever. But there's hope. Urban planners around the world are now bringing the forest back, with rooftop gardens, vertical forests, and city parks. Even a single tree planted on a sidewalk can make a real difference. One study found that planting just 10 trees per block could lower local temperatures by up to 2 degrees Celsius. That's the power of nature. Quiet, consistent, and generous. So the next time you escape the city and step into the woods, take a deep breath. The air is cooler not by magic, but because every leaf, every root, and every drop of water is working together to protect you. Nature doesn't just create beauty, it engineers balance. And maybe that's why being in the forest feels so peaceful. It's not just cooler air you're feeling, it's the reminder that nature always knows how to take care of itself and of us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wiseuse for more stories that connect science, nature, and the small wonders we often take for granted.